Hey everyone, welcome to today's Twitter Space, Breaking Barriers, the future of cross-chain Web3 connectivity. And I'm super excited to have you all here. And I just wanted to give a warm welcome to all our panelists. So today we have Atlas Arman, head of BD at Kima. We have Madrul, PMO at Pentagon Games. We have Alex, CMO at Terminus. And we have our very own technical advisor, Adi, from InitVerse. Welcome, all guys. And we have an exciting discussion lined up. And we'll also be discussing and celebrating InitVerse's 2-year anniversary with some huge events. So, guys, stick around to hear all about what we have planned. So, yeah, all right, let's dive in. Just give us a brief introduction of yourselves quickly. Kima, would you like to start?
Of course, Johnny, thank you very much. And for the entire InitVerse team to have us here. And also it is pretty valuable topic and very hot actually for the entire ecosystem, not only Web3, but also the Web2. Thank you for your vision and having us here. So yes, this is Atlas as the head of BD for Kima Finance. I've been in the industry, technology industry for more than 15 years now. The first 10 years, I worked for some multinationals like Qualcomm, like Intel company. For the 5-6 years, I've been in crypto, working for many different verticals like chains, like incubators, venture capitals. Now I've been with Kima for 1 year, which has been the most excited year for me actually, because it's really addressing this interoperability with a quite unique and breakthrough way. As being said, the Kima is asset agnostic, blockchain-based, decentralized settlement protocol, aiming to address this fragmentation in crypto and the broader financial space. We act like a cross-chain and cross-ecosystem asset transfer protocol, which enables secure, seamless stablecoin and money and message transfer, and without relying on smart contracts. This is pretty important. We are backed by MasterCard, Ally Ventures, Blockchain Capital, and many other top-tier venture capitals as well. This is just in a nutshell. So, of course, we can go in depth in details in the other questions.
Amazing, Atlas, and it seems like you're actually tailor-made for this discussion, as we're going to be chatting about cross-chain and interoperability. So amazing. Next, Madrul, how about you give us a little introduction of yourself and what you're doing over at Pentagon Games? I think we might be having a little bit with an issue with Madrul. Oh, he's requesting to speak at the moment. Jerome, if you can just let him speak, or for the time being, actually, whilst we sort Madrul out, how about Alex, CMO of Terminus? How about you go whilst we get Madrul sorted out?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Thank you for the invitation. I'm very happy to be here as well. And it's always a pleasure to speak about blockchain. My name is Alex, Chief Growth Officer at Terminus Network. And what we are a payment network where user can connect and use their cryptocurrencies to buy anything they want.
She's still listener right now.
Hi, I will just continue. Well, so Terminus Network is a payment network where user can connect and use their cryptocurrencies to buy anything they want, like a pizza, a burger, a bottle of water, anything. And how it works is that we use the pre-existing QR code payment systems that you find pretty much everywhere in Southeast Asia. So the merchant will directly receive the amount in the bank account and already converted into fiat currency. We are operating in Thailand and Vietnam for now, and we want to expand to more countries later on. Again, thanks for the invitation and happy to be here.
Amazing, Alex. And I was working in for a month in Thailand most recently. So yeah, keen to see you guys in person. And I think what you guys are doing are amazing. And I think QR codes and easy payment systems for crypto is amazing. And we need more of these products and protocols. So amazing, and keen to pick your brain a little bit more on that subject. Next, our very own Adi, how about you give us a little introduction about what we've been doing at InitVerse and
Yeah, hey everyone. Been in this space for a couple of years now and happy to be here. Thanks, Johnny, InitVerse, and other speakers. Looking forward to talk about cross chain and interoperability in general because if you see in a broad view, it's very important if you see about users, liquidity, and more broader options in blockchain and outside blockchain. Yeah, it's going to be a very insightful discussion. Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks a lot.
thank you, Adi. And as always, it's a pleasure to speak to you and dive deep into this subject. Madrul, are you ready? Give us a little introduction about what you're doing at Pentagon Games.
Please ask him to be in speaker. His invite is not being accepted. He is raising his hand.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with Madrua at the moment, but we seem to be having issues with him. But either way, the space is timed and we'll just need to continue. So anyways, we have let's dive in, guys. Why not? So yeah, interoperability is one of the hottest topics, as Atlas just said, and Alex and Adi. It's one of the hot topics in Web3 at the moment. So why is it so crucial for the future? Oh, there's Madrul. Yeah, we were just gonna go ahead without you, but yeah, feel free to give us a brief introduction of yourself and Pentagon Games.
Sure, can you hear me now? I'm a speakerphone.
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, yeah. Well, we're over the technical difficulties. So, thanks for having me on. I'm currently the head of Web3 and community growth at Pentagon Games. I do come from a traditional cybersecurity background where I used to be providing security consulting to a couple of Fortune 500s and then just moved over to blockchain in general. At Pentagon Games, we're building we're building an entertainment hub which is powered by a ZK. It's powered by a ZK proof chain, and on top of it, we're building an entire ecosystem. So it's a multi-chain entertainment hub powered by its own ZK EVM chain. On top of it, to populate it, there's gaming involved. There's a couple of games which are in-house to begin with. So we have a few of our games, our own games, which are currently available on Steam and wishlist, and there's a couple which are already in alpha. It also extends to there's a launchpad, there's an entire ecosystem. We're working with AI compatibility, and it's all being powered by our own blockchain. So high level, that's Pentagon in a nutshell.
Amazing, Madrul, and really keen to hear. I'm always into entertainment hubs and everything being in one place because I'm quite lazy myself, so I like everything being in one spot. And yeah, sounds amazing. So yeah, let's as I said before, let's dive straight in. Interoperability is one of the hottest topics in Web3, guys. So why is it so crucial for the future of blockchain? Just simply putting like that. Atlas, how about you go first? Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think and majority of my colleagues and the authorities actually agrees on the fact that the interoperability is the maybe the most important concept in Web3, but it's not related only Web3. It is not only among the Web3 concept, but it's also related with the interoperability between Web3 and Web2 actually. So Web3 is still at very early stage. So when you look at liquidities, chains, they are all fragmented, right? So the liquidity on some chain is totally dispersed and separate from the liquidity from the other chains.
Yeah.
Also, this is pretty important to bring more liquidity into Web3 space. It is also important to enable Web2 users to benefit from Web3 benefits and the features like transparency, like seamless asset transfers, and there is no intermediaries, peer-to-peer notion of Web3. So for all of these reasons, interoperability really comes into play. So we are all in Web3 space. So when we think about interoperability immediately, which is still valid, so it is important to ensure that the assets will be seamlessly flow from one chain to another, so the users don't have to bridge their assets. They don't have to swap their assets. Instead, they just would like to achieve what they want. Maybe just staking their coins and get some ROI. But this interoperability may be a barrier in front of them, even if they are Web3 users. When it comes to Web2, it is almost maybe impossible to enable them to use Web3 technologies, because majority of the population actually doesn't know how to connect. What is wallet? What is chain? What is gas fee? So in order to overcome all of these difficulties and barriers, so the seamless interoperability is pretty important, both within Web3 space and between the ecosystems like traditional finance to decentralized finance. So this is what Kima actually does with just one simple API and unique technologies without any risk coming from the smart contracts. And this really brings new liquidity sources to the Web3 space. This really brings new users. This really enables mass adoption. Otherwise, so we just be together in the Web3 space, play with our ball in our garden, but we couldn't go out at the new territories or invite new friends into the space. So all we need is seamless operations with Web2 to Web3, more liquidity. And more liquidity means also there is less fluctuation in the assets. And more users, and it will really foster the growth of the Web3 overall.
Well, it's all about linking everything, right? So,
Exactly.
the seamless means so users can move freely in like one big happy network, right? This is ultimately what we want.
Exactly. They don't have to worry about, which chains my assets are. Okay, how can I, benefit from this DeFi staking or yielding thing? So they don't have to go and connect their wallets to any third-party bridge and swap, which really includes so many risks, because these hackers are mostly targeting the bridges, swaps, and smart contracts are the biggest vulnerability factor in the industry at the moment.
Well said. And Alex, I see that you're putting your thumbs up there. Would you like to add on to that?
Oh yeah, sure. I was just agree with what was just said. I completely agree 100%. And when you just look at the overview, you see I think over 1,000 blockchains out there, like and layer ones like Ethereum, Solana, or ES2 like Polygon or Optimism, and we need to connect those blockchains together to exchange assets, informations, validations, and so on. And just from a PayFi perspective, it's like you have a Visa card, but it's like you cannot pay things in a merchant that has a MasterCard system. So we need this interoperability to just again just from a PayFi perspective, to bring more global commerce and exchanges between all the different users.
Yeah, and I am a big advocate for this because I'm based in London, and yeah, you can hardly pay with any like USDT or any cryptocurrencies in London at the moment. Mainly what you have to do is get vouchers, and the gas fees are really high, and it's just not worth it in the end. So in terms of where I'm based and the region that I'm located in, yeah, I've been looking for something like this where yeah, I just don't need to go or take money and put it into a bank, or I just want a card that's accepted at various merchants, and I can just pay in USDT. And I know in some the different regions in the world you can do this really easily, but the UK is a bit lagging behind in this aspect, and I feel like you hit the nail on the head. I think this needs to be like on a global scale now. We need to push it more. Adi, give us a little take on what you think.
Yeah, if we see, for example, in the cross chain, so first of all, why interoperability is important. In context, I will talk about the blockchain in general, because if you want to see the growth and adoption of blockchain technology, then there needs to be a seamless communication of data sharing, asset transfer, and across different networks. Because if you do for example, in ETH and L2s, there's a lot more fragmentation and it's not user friendly. Now we are seeing a lot more things with the help of AI agents and other things, AI automation that is happening, that let us do cross-chain asset transfer without interacting with, if jumping from one chain to another, transferring our tokens, paying in their native gas tokens or something like that. So in probability, if you see in general, enhance the liquidity, capital efficiency, because it's needed. It's like a necessity for seamless user experience that you want for to onboard the next billion users, or like growth of this industry or scalability in general. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed, and it's exactly what I was just speaking about. I've been in the crypto space for well over 6 years now, and even I'm struggling. So can you imagine for someone who's just, heard about Trump launching a coin and now he's interested in crypto and he's trying to overcome all these obstacles. And like you said, Adi, yeah, the user experience is really important and it needs to be seamless. So it doesn't spoof people away, or they don't think, oh, this is just a mission. This is going to be so hard to learn, and I'm going to lose money, and it's going to take this long, and I have to do this process. So I totally agree with you. Madrul, last but not least, give us your insight into this question.
Yeah, I completely agree with the speakers before. I mean, when we're talking about assets and everything else being interoperable within the blockchain space, it boils down to three main aspects: liquidity, user onboarding, and user experience. So I'm pretty sure Atlas talked a detailed discussion about liquidity, and I did to discover the user experience. So, I mean, let's look at it very generally, right? I'm a very avid traveler. Now, this is a problem you face in almost every country you go to. The power outlets are different, right? So you need a universal travel adapter. Without that, you'd be facing issues everywhere. That's exactly where user experience boils down to. It's the current state of the blockchain, I'd say. Really, it's pretty fragmented, and this is one of the main reasons why there is a massive amount of difficulty or drawbacks in onboarding Web2 users onto Web3. If you go ask your neighbor, if you go tell your neighbor, oh yeah, I'm into the blockchain space and I'm dealing with crypto and stuff, and they're interested, how do you get them onboarded? You could go tell them about, okay, the easiest is you go get MetaMask, maybe get some Ethereum, and then you tell them, oh, Ethereum is on almost every chain. You could get Ethereum on Arb, on Optimism, you could get it on Ethereum itself. So yeah, I mean, that's exactly what the current issue is. It is the lack of assets being interoperable over here is massively impacting user onboarding, and that also impacts the user experience within the blockchain space as well. most of the users who are currently transacting, do cross-chain bridging or buy assets from one project, and they're like, oh, I got this NFT from a project, and I don't know what else to do with it later on. That's because that NFT is very much limited to that singular chain and singular project, which is why, I'm a great advocate for asset being interoperable, which is also what we're focusing at with Pentagon Games. You could get an NFT on any chain. I think we currently have a concept of blockchain superheroes. It's essentially, they're like the defenders of the blockchain space. And these guys and these NFTs are on multiple chains. They're on Scale, there's one on Core, on Arbitrum, Ethereum, even at Tron at this point. And whatever asset you're getting on any of these chains is available to utilize within the entirety of the ecosystem. So you're not just limiting your assets to one singular product. You make sure you incorporate it within the entire ecosystem and also motivate your partner projects to do the same. That's exactly when people would realize, okay, the assets I have has more than one utility and I'm able to use it in more than one place. So you're easing up the user experience part. And once that becomes pretty smooth, then in turn, it also eases up the user onboarding, because then you're able to go to your friends and family and say, okay, this is how easily you can get into the Web3 space.
Totally agreed, Mitchell. And I totally agree with what you said. And that actually leads us on to one of the other questions that that we could lead on, and that's let's talk solutions. Then we've seen bridges, wrapped assets, layer protocols. What are the key differences, and which are the most effective, do you think? Should we go with Alex to start with?
Sure. You can see bridges like connectors between different blockchains, like, for example, Wormhole that connects Ethereum and Solana. And when you look at those bridges, you can see them as a component that lock the assets in one chain while minting the same asset on the other chain. But then you have other techniques to connect between blockchains. You can use those wrapped assets where actually one of the assets is held in a blockchain, but then it is tokenized and then it is sent to the new blockchain. At the same time, we can take as example, I think that was wrapped Bitcoin, that is a tokenized BTC on Ethereum blockchain. And then you have as well layer 0 protocol infrastructures, where it's like, I think that's a big thing and very interesting solution, where you can build multiple blockchains on it, like Polkadot, and this is safe for the chains to use this layer 0. But at the same time, they need to design their full infrastructure to meet the requirements from those layer 0. And I think that was Atlas that just touched on this point. I think those kind of connectors and bridges between the blockchains, they are very well the weak points in this decentralized world, where hackers can come and then hack the system. So I think we need to worry about that. But yeah.
Well, they're essentially shortcuts, right? Bridges are shortcuts. Wrapped assets are, if you put it, copies. And layer 0 are the foundation. So Atlas, what do you think?
Yes, this is the topic that, yes, I would like to really underline. So when it comes to the bridging, swapping, the main problem is the security risk. We have been witnessing this in the industry for a long time. The names that you have mentioned within the last 5 minutes are all utilizing and using smart contracts, which brings a huge risk for being hacked in the space. When you look at for the last 2 years, we have seen many incidences for these hacks of the smart contracts and the bridges. Wormhole has been hacked before, as you know, because of the same issue. LeFi has been hacked. Radiant Capital may be the final example, which in this case, $50 million has been stolen. So all of these big hacking incidences has been resulted from the smart contracts for bridging, swapping. So actually, Kima achieves this unique security by eliminating all known attack vectors, because we don't have and we don't work with smart contracts. We don't work with oracles, no external layers. So, and adding multiple layers of security, like using trusted execution environments with Intel technology. And so the entire operation is being, held by the decentralized validator nodes and through liquidity pools. And these advanced technologies, which is patent pending at the moment, really eliminates the entire hacking and smart contract risk factors in the industry. This is a breakthrough approach, and this is not only ensuring the security and the 100% security for the cross-chain asset settlement, but also our technology eliminates the risk of the transferring assets from Web 2 to Web 3 or vice versa. So from that perspective, we are working with banks, which should be the most secure places, right? So from the regulatory perspectives, so we are not only providing this interoperability to the Web3 space, and also, as I mentioned, we are working with governments now, creating POCs. We are working with Web2 financial institutions like banks and some other investment companies, etc., in order to ensure they are very securely connected with the blockchain to the Web3 space in a regulatory compliant perspective. So none of the names that you mentioned so far could achieve this with simple API and without smart contracts. So from that perspective, I'm really proud to bringing this breakthrough unique concepts to the industry.
How do solutions like Layer 0 then and Cosmos, IBC, and Polkadot's XCM enable cross-chain communication then? Let's ask Alex.
Oh, sure. Maybe do you want to ask someone else, as I just replied before?
Oh yeah, Madrul, go ahead if you want. Anyone can go. There's no line of order. Whoever is feeling confident on the question, go ahead. I'm all ears.
Sure, I guess I'll take that one then. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of solutions that currently do enable cross-chain communication. Like, just give an example of Layer 0, which I do agree with. It is pretty required at this point. So Layer 0 acts as kind of like, to put it in as layman terms as possible, it acts as a base layer between underlying base layer between all the other EVMs, and you use it to bridge assets between all the other chains possible. So does allow cross-chain interoperability. But there is one thing that I would say about the security aspect of it, where I do not completely agree with Atlas, is that company, the risk buying on the smart contract. Smart contract in itself, it's just code. The code is as good as the coder who's actually deploying it, and as good as any workability that's able to exploit it. I have been in the security industry for a decent amount of time. I used to be a cybersecurity engineer, and you know how we say high availability? Just like high availability is 99.999, there is no system in the world that exists with 100% security. It's simply not possible. You can make your system as secure as possible, but you cannot make it, impenetrable. It doesn't exist. So but that's exactly where the issues with Web3 start, is because traditionally speaking, IT companies spend about 10 to 15% of their IT budget into security. We don't see that happening in Web3. The reason being, we work in a startup environment with mid to high tier budgets, right? We work as if we're in a fast-paced startup environments, whereas we're dealing with hundreds of millions and maybe up to $1 billion worth. If we're talking about $1 billion worth, I don't see any company investing 100 to 150 million in their cybersecurity or into security at all. That is one of the exactly. That's one of the key areas why we see all of these hacks and exploits happening, especially talking about bridges, right? That's being like a honeypot for hackers pretty recently. Now, bridges are targeted because they work on either canonical or non-canonical conversion, meaning the tokens that are being bridged happen one of two ways. There's called a lock and mint, and there's called a burn and mint. So if you're, let's say, bridging from Ethereum to Arbitrum, you will be either locking your tokens on Ethereum and minting an equivalent amount on Arbitrum, or you'll be burning them on Ethereum and then you'd be minting them on Arbitrum. In both of these cases, there's a risk involved because first you're locking it. Now, if there's a vulnerability on the contract, that means those tokens which are logged can be unlocked at any point, right? If the contract has a vulnerability. And if it's a mint and burn, what that means is, burn and mint, what that means is you're minting new tokens once you transfer it back. That means there's an infinite mint function. So you can mint as many tokens as you want to. Both of these have their risk involved, for sure. But I don't think people realize that the risk of decentralized bridges is as prominent as centralized exchanges as well. We do see bridges getting hacked, but we also do see exchanges getting hacked.
All the time.
Yeah, so it's not really, potato. It's like you're just choosing what you want to be. Do you want a centralized service? Do you want a decentralized service? But the main area is companies that are building these bridges and the companies building, these solutions are not investing enough into their security aspect. Most of these contracts, if you actually go through some of their audit reports, in their audit reports, there are vulnerabilities that are deemed as an acceptable risk. So in cybersecurity, if you see a dollar value risk and you are okay, I'm like, okay, if something happens for this amount, it's okay for me. That's deemed as an acceptable risk. Now, no auditing firm allows you to publish an auditing report with a higher security risk until it has been acknowledged by the company. And that still happens, Projects acknowledge risk and they still go ahead and release their smart contract. So it's not the issue of having the smart contract itself, it's the people behind it. The code is just code. It's as good as the developer who's doing it.
Yeah, well, I've seen projects that have been audited, and you see the audit, and it's like, how the hell did they still feel like it was okay to continue? But I guess it's leading on from what you just said, and it leads on to my other question actually. So what roles do oracles play in enhancing interoperability? Adi, do you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. So as everyone talking about smart contract vulnerabilities, as you see, like Unichain and other big protocols now giving, for example, running with Cantena and other auditing competitions to inviting white hat hackers to find vulnerabilities in their smart contracts. So basically, if you go back to layer 0, which allows like omni-chain messaging protocol. So as if you go to architecture side, layer 0 uses a lightweight client, you can say, model that relies on two external parties, right? Relayers, they independently verify and transmit messages between chains, you can say. And then you have oracles. They provide security by confirming the messages validity. And there you can say it's good, but as you say, like as Mridul also mentioned about, as you want to use decentralized thing and exchanges are also getting hacked. But yeah, oracles do play a role with in layer zero. Then you have, for example, then you have Cosmos, interchain, IBC, as you guys say. Yeah, it's like boils down to everything that everyone else mentioned.
Yeah, well, oracles bring outside info in, and for InitVerse, they're pretty much the eyes and ears, right? So key to keeping our cross-chain dream alive. And like you said, Cosmos, they're like chain translators, if you will. So yeah, it's kind of like texting between blockchains, right? Alex,
Yeah,
do you like?
so if you go to Polkadot, they use the messaging kind again. Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So this actually, yeah, seeing as we're talking about securities and risks and, Madrul being a ex-cyber security, and I think someone mentioned that, they like companies actually hire hackers to come and test the security systems. And I think actually in Web 2, the big one was, I think years ago, I think PlayStation Network got hacked, and they ended up hiring the guy that hacked the network. Why? Because he found, like Madrul said, he found a vulnerability, and then he was obviously able to write new code and new security measures, and but like he said, it's never 100% impenetrable. Like no system will ever be. There will always be, as we say, a bigger fish out there, right? So why are cross-chain bridges frequently targeted by hackers? How about Atlas gives us a little insight into that?
Yes, sure, of course. Actually, it's a simple saying: smart contracts are, being coded by men, and another man can hack it, right? So this is pretty simple.
I've seen cases of people writing smart contracts with ChatGPT and AI now.
Yes, actually, smart contracts is something very important in blockchain space, and so they are the very central point of the blockchain. So we love them. So we need them in space really. So without smart contracts, actually blockchain will become nonsense. So we have to confess. But what we are saying here is when it comes to an money or asset transfer, of course the hackers would like to steal some money, right? So why they are trying to hack the systems for the sake of fun? I don't think so. So of course smart contracts yeah smart contracts are pretty important, and we need them to ensure that the the main notion of the blockchain is being permissionless, right? Trustless, and transparent, and make the things works from decentralized manner. So we have to set the scene. So we really need them. But as I mentioned, when it comes to the money transfer, asset transfer, yes. So there are some vulnerabilities that we need to address, and we really need to ensure we fix this security incidences problems in order to ensure the secure investment environment for our investments. So you mentioned the AI. When we look at the AI use cases, the majority, maybe 90% of AI agents at the moment is targeting to financial. I mean, they are under the DeFi vertical, because we would like to utilize them to fix and increase our ROI, and these bots and the AI agents can do better than us because they have more information. At the same time, they have more reach to many
quicker, faster.
Exactly. So again, so we are coming to the asset transfer, the money, the transfer, settlement. So, and the, hackers are targeting the, the weakest chain. The weakest chain of the entire chain is, smart contracts. So this is why, especially for asset transfers, we just really get rid of smart contract concept from our technology. So, and how it works, it's pretty actually simple. There are multiple liquidity pools for every chain. So, for example, if you would like to bridge an asset, so you can utilize Kima without smart contracts easily when you send, for example, a Solana asset to Arbitrum. Our decentralized nodes accept and sees that you are sending the Solana asset to Arbitrum, accepts and puts it on the Solana liquidity pool on our layer. Everything is decentralized. No one has the keys. Keys are, embedded in the blockchain itself, and only a consensus of the decentralized nodes, comes together. Another operations unlocks the same amount of funds from Arbitrum liquidity pool and send it to the destination address. So this happens in a matter of seconds. The latency is less than you can do this transfer within, a simple chain, a one single chain, but it is cross chain, and there is no smart contract interaction. So hackers has nothing to do to, drain any side of the bridge. So this is why, we can provide this security for swapping, for bridging, for depositing, for many use cases in RWA, for atomic swaps, for, as I mentioned, the projects can use this technology through one simple API for, making payments, accepting deposits from different chains, or, switch bridging assets seamlessly. So just imagine when a project use this API, so their users don't have to connect their wallet to a bridge in order to swap their assets or bridging their assets. They just seamlessly send any asset from any chain to the platform, even if platform accepts assets on some certain chain and currency. So they don't care about switching, swapping, bridging. So our layer, in a most decentralized manner, without smart contracts, on 100% secure way, handles the entire interoperability at the backend. The users can just go and play her games or invest their assets into a DeFi protocol, or agents can benefit from this technology as well. Never switching, never bridging, assets, and handling risky operations with smart contracts. So any application in Web 2 or any dApp in Web 3 can utilize this interoperability layer, as I mentioned. And hackers will find another way to make money.
Yeah, well, in gaming, assets are frequently transferred. So, like you said, users need solutions that are both secure and fast. I was keen to hear a little bit of Madrul being that his background is from cybertech. So let's quickly have your final thoughts, Madrul. Can we ever make interoperability fully secure before we move on to the next little discussion?
Sure. Sir, was the question about why cross-chain bridges are targeted, or like what was it?
No, I just wanted your final thoughts on can we ever make interoperability fully secure?
Can they be secure? Well, the short is no. Can they be as secure as possible? It's sure. It really depends on. Yeah, it really depends on how
The £1 million question that everyone wants to know, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's literally impossible to design a foolproof system. It doesn't exist. High availability is defined as 99.999. It's the same in security. You can go 99.999, but never 100%. But there is.
So there you have it, guys.
Yeah, I mean, just high level in general. It's sorry.
It makes sense. It's common sense, right? Nothing's 100% in all walks of life. So why would it be different? Yeah.
No, but I do
agree with that.
quickly want to add on. It's not just about smart contract security on the blockchain side. Most of the hacks that do happen are because of, let's say it's usually because of human error. And that's a very common reason why a lot of projects get hacked. That's because one of the developers or one of the C-level executive accounts get compromised. This is just general awareness for anybody who's listening. There's a really common scam going around where a group of people target a developer and they say, hey, we have a freelance gig for you. This is the GitHub repo, download it and let us know how long it's going to take for you to work on this. Now, as soon as you download and run that GitHub repo, there is some background code in that. And basically what you're doing is you are giving away your private keys. You are giving away access to your system. So if you ever use a wallet tool, yeah, and it's pretty common. And that's a lot of reasons why, projects get hacked, because their developers still have full admin access to the contracts they deploy.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So that's happening a lot. Just in general, so it's not just about smart contract security. It's also about companies educating their employees on best practices and how to stay away from these pointers.
Well put, Madron. Fantastic hearing, picking your brain a bit about this. It's really interesting and could chat about it all day, to be honest with you. Just a quick one, guys. Just a reminder that we are offering $500 INI for this Twitter space. So just remember, to all the listeners out there, just take a screenshot, go into the Telegram and tag IN68, which is AYAN68. He's one of the group mods, and you'll get some rewards just for listening to us today and taking some time out to come and listen to our discussion. So yeah, let's move on from that amazing topic. The future of multi-chain web in Web3. So do you think we'll move towards a single dominant blockchain, or will multi-chain ecosystems persist? We haven't heard from Alex for a while. I hope he's still there. So go for it, Alex.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's an interesting question. And well, my point of view of that is that I think we will move to a single, well, I would say public blockchains, where you see, so we can make the difference between public blockchains and private blockchains. And I think we are moving more to a big, only few public blockchains, because the users, they want to have the safest blockchain out there. They want to have low gas fees and so on. But then in terms of private blockchains, I think we will still have more and more blockchains coming out, because they all have their own specialty on each problems that they can solve. And I think that's not a problem, because again, we were speaking about bridges. I think we will see more and more connecting solutions out there that can gather all those different private blockchains together to make things easier to use for the users.
So adoption will be driven by user experience, and whoever makes it easiest wins, basically, is what you're saying, Alex.
Yeah, exactly. Especially for the public blockchains, exactly.
Addy, what do you think?
Yeah, so basically, I think when blockchain becomes invisible, unified user experience, as people mentioned before, and also the borderless blockchain ecosystem that we are talking about, isn't one chain ruling them all. The native interoperability move beyond traditional bridges that we see right now, moving beyond traditional bridges. And we do have solutions, but we want to see them on a larger scale, adopting by a lot of, because people do have assets on their one chain, but they are cut out from all the other, like ecosystem chains, user liquidity, from all of them. So we will move beyond the traditional bridges, blockchain become invisible, or you can say like that, for unified user experience, because user don't want to feel like they are on a blockchain when they're transferring assets from one to another. Or we do have Cosmos IBC, Polkadot XCM, cross consensus messaging, inter blockchain communication, and we have Avalanche wrap messaging, and like Chainlink, CCIP, USDC, as you can see by Circle. So yeah, we will see that adoption happening more and more, and we will. It's not far that we will move from traditional bridges to more unified user experience. Yeah.
Amazing, Adi. And Madrul, what do you think about it?
Well, I definitely think we would have a multi-chain economy because, well, let's be honest, it's not a
I
zero.
agree with that too.
Yeah, it's not a zero-sum game, right? It's not, and it's also healthy for the economy in general because you are not allowing a monopoly. And anytime a monopoly happens, it's always the customers that suffer, right?
Yeah.
So you should always have competition. Competition is healthy. So I do definitely see multi-chain going forward, happening in the future. And personally speaking, I'm not a fan of, when we say private blockchains, because blockchain in essence, it's a distributed, immutable database. Now, what's a private blockchain? It's just a database. You can nomenclature it anything you want, but it's just a database, right? Now, yeah, so public blockchains, definitely. Multi-chain, 100%. Why? Because you definitely need competition. Any industry that lacks competition turns into a monopoly, which is always bad for the customers. Now, who's going to be the winner here? I think that's really just going to be about the user experience. Whoever can provide the best user experience, best user onboarding, and retention, that's going to be the winner. It's, to give you a real-world example, it's like saying, oh, hey, there's going to be 100 malls in your city. Now, which is going to be the best one, right? It's pretty simple. Whatever has the best footfall and the best experience. But you can't say, I'm going to tear down 99 malls just to have one of them. No, people still need multiple.
Yeah, and that
competition.
I love it when you I love the way you just link that to like a real world scenario, because I feel like people that are coming into crypto, it's good to put it into these terms so that they can easily understand, and it's easier to educate them and they digest the information better, right?
Yeah, like just going with the mall example, right? So what I really feel is the mall that's gonna win is you need to build the shops first before you call the customers. That's what's happening with a lot of projects is they have a user base, but they have no product, and the users don't know what to do with it, right? So first you build a product, you build the shops in the mall, and then you invite the users to come in and shop around there, right? And it's not the other way around because the customer never waits. So whichever chain realizes that, which is essentially what we talked about, user experience and user onboarding, is going to be a winner in the end. And there's definitely going to be a few of them.
Exciting insights, guys. And I'd love to speak more about it, and I'm sure so many people have so many more questions. But yeah, let's wrap up with something special. Huge thanks to all our panelists today. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. But before we go, let's talk about InitVerse's 2-year anniversary. We have some exciting stuff happening. First, if you're part of the community, you know about the Turner Forge minting event for 2,500 participants who can mint exclusive NFTs. We also have interactive tasks that are coming from March, and that's part of a 100,000 INI dollar prize pool, and it's just as simple as completing tasks, following, spreading love. We also have a staking event that we're going to launch, just to, up to 50% APY. So that's amazing. So even if you just do the task, then you stake it, pretty much double your money. everyone's happy. And for any community or media partners listening in, if you're a YouTuber, if you're a blogger, if you're just interested in the space, we're setting aside $50,000 any if you want to come and promote us and work with us and spread the love. And not only that, we're hosting an event in Vietnam, Hanoi, an offline event. So you can come and actually meet the team, come and chat to us, come and promote your own projects and see if we can all work together. I'm a big fan of working with different projects, and I feel like everyone in the space should be working together and reaching the ultimate goal, which is mass adoption throughout, globally, and everyone using crypto. And to top it all off, we have an epic party that we're throwing in Thailand too, for C Blockchain Week, which will be there. We have a booth and everyone will be there. But yeah, massive thank you to everyone. Final thoughts from the panel before we wrap up, guys. Quick little 30-second wrap up. Go for it. Atlas.
Yeah, so wrap up. It's pretty actually obvious that so for the mass adoption, for interoperability, for the security, so I think that we have the technology to make all of these concepts happening. So it's not a future concept. So like Kima can provide this cross-chain interoperability at the most secure way. So the interoperability and seamless usages of the blockchain technology is pretty is here to stay, and it's only the matter of seconds. The existing protocols have to follow and find out the right solution for their users to make it seamless and interoperable, not within the Web3 space, but we should really consider how we can integrate Web3 technologies, benefits into the Web2 space and vice versa. So any bank, a conventional bank user, just imagine they should be able to invest in Web3 space in a seamless manner without having to know what is wallet, what is blockchain, what is gas fee. So those things are pretty complicated and make the things harder for mass adoption. So we need seamless interoperability really here, like Kima can provide the all the projects in Web2 and Web3 space. I think future is now. So the only thing is that we need to embrace and start using it.
If not now, when, right? So
exactly.
Madrul, quick 20 seconds.
Yeah, I think we already covered a lot, so I'm just gonna say congratulations on the 2-year anniversary, guys, and thanks for having us on.
Thank you so much, and I'm sure we'll see each other at some point. The crypto space is really small, guys. Once you're really deep into it, so I hope to see you all. Quick one from Alex.
Yeah, thanks again for the invitation. Very interesting topic, and unfortunately, we're not operating in London yet. But if you come to Bangkok and Hanoi in Vietnam, feel free to use Terminus to pay anything you want using your cryptocurrencies. That will be with pleasure. And again, thanks
to the space. I'm gonna have a quick look, and if you're local to Bangkok or Vietnam, come and see us. We'd love to meet you personally.
I'm in Vietnam right now, so that will be with pleasure.
Lovely. So I'm sure we'll speak off the space. And last but not least, Adi.
Yeah, thanks, Johnny. And yeah, lot of different perspective, but at the end, making more blockchain accessible to the normal people and user onboarding and everything. So happy to be here. First of all, learned a lot from all of you guys. Thanks for hosting us and 2-year anniversary.
Likewise.
What's better than that? Yeah, it's perfect.
Thank you, guys. And that's a wrap. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much, guys. See you. Bye-bye.